Hey guys, Zakk here from MixChecks.com. Welcome back to this gospel mixing course. Like I've said in a few previous videos, the gospel mixing is still the most popular on my channel. Don't know why, just maybe there's mostly gospel mixers or gospel instrumentalists that watch this channel, but whatever the reason, we are doing another gospel mixing course. And today we're working on the drum bus and the overhead. So let's jump into this mix. Jumping into our overheads. Got a nice mix going on with the drums. Let's see what's going on in these overheads. First thing we want to make sure of is that our overhead position or positioning of the individual drums matches how we're doing it, which is drummer's perspective. So that is what we're going to check. And sometimes it's hard to hear. You just got to really listen for, which side the hi-hat is on and, where the toms are falling. So let's just see what we can do. Okay, yeah, so I'm definitely hearing the hi-hat over here, which is good because we are mixing drummer's perspective, so the stereo field is right. And then the next overhead check that I like to do is the phase relationship of the snare drum. And I'm not going to use a phase switcher. Even the SSL that we're putting on every track has the phase button or the polarity button. But I just like to line it up manually. So I'll find a snare hit. Let's find a nice heavy one. And you just zoom way in. And actually, let me make sure I made a little cut in the beginning because you're going to have to drag this around. So just make a little notch into the silence so you have some wiggle room. And then we're just going to make sure that these line up. So see right here, when it's going down, it's going down. When it's going up, right here, it's going up. And then that's how you match your phase coherency with the snare drum is the easiest to me. And that's the most important to me, honestly. So that's why I focus on the snare. And as far as mixing the overheads, let's put the channel strip on. But normally I just use the overheads more as a cymbal mic. So I'm just going to high pass them. And then I'm going to cut some, probably around 500 just to get rid of that muddiness. And turn the gate off and then compress them. Okay, I'm going to turn this gain off. And something that I can't really do with the SSL is notch some frequencies out. This is what I like to do on overheads pretty much all the time, is notch those really harsh frequencies, usually in the upper mids and highs. And this difference is super subtle. Here, I'll see if I can just loop some cymbal hits for you and just bypass it. Come on, there you go. Okay, so that's without it. Here it is with it. Without it. So super subtle, but you're not really missing anything because those notches are so small. Your ear's not going to notice that, oh man, he just cut out a whole frequency, but I'm cutting out annoying frequencies that are more subconscious, and it just smooths it out just a little bit and just enough to really help the overall mix, especially when you got people, wailing on the crashes and stuff like that. So we have that. Let's mix this in with our drum sound already. Okay, dialing that in. I think I could use a little bit more snare, actually. Okay, pretty dialed drum sound. I am definitely digging that. Next, we're just going to leave this on loop. And we're going to move to our drum bus. So normally I do two things on a drum bus. One is a drum bus compressor to kind of glue everything together. And the second thing is more saturation on the drum kit as a whole. And I'm not sure what I want to use yet as my drum bus compressor. Sometimes I'll use the CLA 76. Sometimes I like actually most of the time I like the Townhouse bus compressor. And then just recently I have come across the Sonics Oxford inflator. So let's see what this does real quick. And I think it's making it a little bit louder, so let's dial back our output so we can do a proper A/B. Yeah, this is adding some saturation that I like. I mean, it sounds good. I would be fine going with this, but for the sake of the video and kind of going against all my principles of not getting caught in choice, too many option confusion, let's just pull in the one that I like the most and just do a quick comparison. So I'm going to turn the inflator off. Does this have the V gain all the way down? Okay. Okay. I really like that too. Let's see. Let's go back to the Oxford. Okay. I think on this track, it's a gospel track. The Oxford right now is kind of making the drums fatter. At least it's very subtle, so if you don't hear it, don't worry about it. It's just that's my opinion. That's what I'm hearing. It's kind of fattening up the drums, and then the Townhouse is making them more high end sounding. Like you can hear the highs more. That's the high end's more accentuated, more attack. Which would be good in some genres. I might actually prefer if this was a rock song, I might actually take the Townhouse right now. But since it's gospel, I'm going to leave the Townhouse out of it. And then we might not really need much saturation since the inflator's adding quite a bit itself. But let me go to my go-to saturator. This one I'm not going to do a shootout on. I always use the same one. And this one is super cool. It has a ton of different saturation options, especially if you know what you're doing. You know, if the tubes and stuff mean a lot to you, then this one's really cool. The pentode and the triode and all that stuff. But so I have the Plugin Alliance bundle, and so I can just go grab any one of their plugins that I want. But I was talking to a guy on Facebook in one of the groups the other day, and he was saying how, is there any plugins that can work like this one, the HG2? And I was like, well, why don't you just use the HG2? And he was like, it's $300, and I had no idea. So this plugin's really cool, but it costs $300 if you just want to buy it outright. But if you have the Mega Bundle, you can get all their plugins for the low price of $249 a year. Whoops. Okay, so now they're getting pretty hefty. That's with this saturation in. Oh, I feel like I just got punched in the face. Okay, I should not have moved that knob so high. Let's just leave that where it was. Okay. Let's see what this air does. Okay. Let's adjust the output because I don't want to get confused by it just getting louder. You know, in this instance, I don't really want this on there. I'm kind of liking it without it. So, no one says we had to add more saturation. I think we're good. It sounds good to me without it. And we will move on. And so now we have our drum sound to kind of base everything else around, and we can move on to the bass. And we can throw in this loop really quick, but we're really not going to have to do a ton to it. So I'll just throw it in at the beginning of the next video. See you then.